drawing a pant in Inkscape. So when you open Inkscape, it will automatically open up your template file that you've saved. First thing we need to do is go to our layer, click on layers to bring up the layer panel. We're going to make a new layer, click on the plus sign, write image, add, file, import under Pant in Adobe 8, CAD 8, sorry. Okay. And opacity, bring that down to about 65. Move it with the black selection tool, place it over the template. It's a little bit long, so Mac, hold down Control and push the corner toggle. Quite a sort of short cigarette pant, this one. Use your keypad arrow to get it into place. And the most important thing is that the left side is lined up more than the right, because you're drawing over the left side. Okay, lock that layer, make a new layer, click on the plus sign, right draw, add. Okay, so now we're going to zoom in, Z, click and drag over that whole pant area. And we're going to draw with our Bezier tool. Click just under the waistband. Again, we're clicking just outside, clicking down to the hip. Now, if this happens, it means that last time you were drawing, which I did get you to do, is change your settings over here. We need to click off all of these settings. Okay, back to our Bezier tool. Click out there, click down to the hip, hold and curve. Remember, lining up your handlebar helps with your drawing. So follow through, we're going to. Going down to the knee, we're just dragging down to scoop it in a little bit above the knee, clicking to the hem. Now we're putting in a folded pleat line here, so we're making a slight peak on the bottom. Click to the centre of the hem, click to the outside of the hem, and then click up to the crutch hold and drag to make the curve more around the top of the crutch rather than the bottom of the leg. Press return on a Mac or enter on a Windows. We'll set up our stroke. Over here on the right, fill and stroke, click on that. Where it says stroke styles, click on that. And we're going to choose points and we're going to type in 1.000. Okay, so that's our outline path is 1 point. Okay, now we're going to draw our pleat line. It's easier if you drag out a ruler and just sort of line it up with the centre of the leg. That way you can judge whether you did get the centre. Get our Bezier. The pleat and the leg sort of starts at the bottom of the fly. So click up there, hold down to the hem, click to the hem, press return or enter. And this time we want it 0.75. It's remembered I like that for internal line work, so great, here we go. The next thing we're going to do is our waistband and our belt loop. So we will get our zoom tool, click and drag over the waist area, make that bigger, hold down the space bar if you need to move it around, get the rectangle tool or press R. So we want the same depth as we have there. That's a bit annoying, it always seems to come out as a colour, so it depends last time what you were using. I'd always remember the last colour you used. So up here in fill and stroke, we're going to click on fill and choose nothing, which is the X. Now we have to shape this, so we're going to click on that outside node. Now before we do that, we have to go object, path, object path. There we go, really important, that one. We're going to click in the centre and drag down just a tad, not as deeply as it is on the template, and the bottom should look about the same. It works like the curvature tool is. And then we're going to drag in from our side. Make sure it sort of lines up with the side seam. You don't want too sort of much of it dipping right in there. Okay, the next thing we want to do is add a couple of points in the centre front because we actually want to delete this right hand side. So double click to add a point, double click to add a point, hold down Shift, select both points, and then with your node tool still, you click and drag a marquee over that whole right hand side, and you choose the 7th icon along on the control bar, delete segment between 2 points. So that's deleted that right hand side. Now we're going to put in our belt loop. So again, zoom in a bit more, I think. It's getting a bit hard to see. Maybe that's a little bit too much. So Shift minus to make it smaller on the keypad, get the rectangle tool. Click and drag out, down a little bit. So belt loops always sit flush with the top of the waistband, but not the bottom. Click inside to select again and to put the corner arrow on. It's not playing ball. Go to fill, choose solid, and then I chose white last time, so it's remembered white, but if you need it, it's down here on the bottom colour window. Okay, click inside and you get the corner arrow coming up and just tilt it. It's probably not as tilted as the princess line on our template, so just a little bit of a tilt. So that's that one. Hold down the space bar. Now we're going to draw the outside, it's called the belt loop with our Bezier tool. So click at the top of the waistband, and the bottom of this outside should be as long as the one on the inside. So hold and curve, so the curve's mainly down the bottom, press return. Okay, now we need to break our waistband shape because we actually want our waist seam to be narrower as usual. So double click on the 2 points that you want to select and delete between, drag the marquee over both of them and choose break, delete. So 7th one again, delete between 2 endpoints. And then what we're going to do here is join the endpoint, this endpoint to the side seam endpoint. So we're joining the top of the waistband to the side seam. So select both the points, drag a little marquee over them and choose the 4th icon along, join. So they're joined, and then we can just bring our waist line, waist seam out to the side, and we need to make that one, so click on your stroke style here, we need to make that one 0.750. There we go. So it's nice and thin again. Oh, actually we need to do that on our belt loop. So that's also 0.750. So basically anything inside of the shape is 0.75 and then the outline is always wider. Shift 1 or minus, Shift minus, so you can see it. So that's all our bits there. Just move our ruler out of the way. Okay, so that's all our front shaping. So what we'll do is we'll save all that as the back view as well, and then we'll put all the internal detail in. So actually we might draw that, oh no, we'll copy reflect. So you need to select everything. So click and drag over all that shape. Hasn't selected the side seam because you can't see the dotted lines. Hold down Shift, click on the shape and that complete line. We don't really want to group it at this stage, so we're going to duplicate it, Command D, and layer, object, flip horizontal, and we'll use a keypad arrow to move it over to the right, and done. Now we're going to zoom in and join all our centre parts. So zoom. We need to join at the centre front. I'm a little bit out of whack, but it doesn't really matter. Click on the end point, hold down shift, click on the other one, drag a little marquee over it, and fourth one along, join selected nodes. So we do that at the top of the waistband, waist seam, and the crutch. Click and drag, join. I think that didn't work because I think what happened was I added a point there. I'll just minus it out. Whoa. Okay, I think it is join. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so what we need to do now, and looking at that I'm thinking my centre front is a little bit high. I'm just going to just pull that down a smidge. Yeah, just about there. Now it's a bit low. Okay, keep that up, down a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to use my Bezier tool to draw a centre front line. So click up there, click down to the centre here, click on the black selection tool or press enter. Okay, that'll do. That line should be points, yep, 7.5. Okay, now we're going to draw our fly. So this is where we need to drag out a ruler again. So we're lining it up. If you can see the template image, bring it in a little bit, don't want it to look too wide. Okay, so now Bezier tool, click. Hang on, I've just changed my mind. We're going to copy all this, delete that line, move it out of the way. So we're going to save this as our front and back, shift minus. So that's all those lines exist on the front and the back. So we'll just move these rulers out of the way because they can be a bit problematic. Select all of it and Command D to duplicate and then drag it over to sit over the back view. Okay, now zoom back in on the front view, and what we need to do is just draw the fly. So again, drag out your ruler and get your Bezier tool, click at the top. Now the way a fly works is it's fairly much straight line to about here, and then it curves into the front, so click and hold and drag. And the curve is sort of a funny kind of curve. It's not an even curve, it's more a long kind of curve like that. Press return. Now this one we want at points, and we want it 0.500, so 0.5. And we want it dashed, and there's no easy way around this. There will be one day, but today there isn't. So we're coming up 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's that. These pants don't have a side pocket. In fact, I meant to copy reflect that before I made them, but we will just do that now. So the way a side pocket works is about in the middle from the side to that belt loop there, and it's just a little bit shorter than the fly. Press return, 7.5. We'll duplicate it, Command D, object, flip horizontal, and just move it over. And we shouldn't have too much trouble getting it into the right spot because it lines up with the waistline there. Okay, over to the back. First thing we'll do is copy the belt loop. So select the belt loop, Command D, drag it over to the centre. We've just got to straighten it up. So zoom in, zoom over, click in the middle again with the black selection tool to get the corner, rotate, and we just have to trust that we've got it straight. There we go, and probably tell it's not quite straight. Just a little bit more like that, and it's not quite centered. There we go. Zoom out, shift, minus. Okay, next thing we need to make is our dart. A bit of black dart on here. So just get our Bezier tool, click at the waistline, click down to here, about there I think. Press return, 075, perfect. Copy it, select it, Command D, object, look horizontal, drag it over. Right there. Now, well, you can judge this. It's sort of not lining up with the image, so we'll just sort of guesstimate. So you can look at the distance between that dart and the belt loop. So we'll use that as our measure. And then we want to make it shorter because it's getting in the way of our pocket there. So we're just going to click on the end point, select the end point and just push it up. Try and keep it on the same angle. Now we're going to draw a pocket, zoom in on the pocket area, and we need a rectangle. So click and drag out a rectangle, and we don't want a dotted rectangle, so we need to come back to our dashes, zoom back up to the top and choose the normal one, and we want this to be 0750. Okay, we don't want a white fill, so we'll click on fill, choose nothing, and then we want to draw our line in the middle, click in the middle, click to the other side. Now you can, if you can't draw a straight line, you can use your ruler, drag the ruler down to get that to help you draw it. It is kind of better if you move it just slightly down from centre. Draw like that, click on that, and this time we want our stroke style to be 5 again. Okay. Now we need to make a button, so ellipse tool or E, hold down Control on a Mac and Shift on a PC, draw a little button, we move it up a smidge, and then we're going to draw the buttonhole. So a buttonhole is about half the length of the button or width. Hold down Control, click to the bottom, press return, and that also needs to be 075, and the button itself needs to be 075, 75. Okay, if you want to be really finicky, you can put a rounded cap on your line. You might have to smooth that down a tad. Okay, so minus, if we look at it, it's the same as the picture, but it's not actually centered. And normally for a trade sketch, you would draw it centered. This image is sort of reflecting it curving around the body. So what we'll do is we'll select, we could select the inside line if we weren't sure, but we're pretty fine with it where it is. They're just going to select the buttonhole and the button, and up here on the control bar, doesn't really show you, so we have to go, what is it, Shift Command A. Shift Command A brings up the align panel, and this is your centre on a vertical axis. There you go, so that centres it all on the white space, and I think we're done.